Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Rowell. I'm here with my broadcast partner, Dean Brummett. We are bringing you the final race before the playoffs here in the Speed Racing Network Truck Series for the Rich Get Richer 125 at Richmond Raceway. Dean, man, I'm pretty pumped for tonight to see who's going to get themselves locked in. First off, man, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, Jake, and I'm right there with you, buddy. This is going to be such an interesting race this evening. You're going to have all these guys trying to fight for that last possible position there in the playoffs. You kind of look at the playoff system we base everything off of in terms of the NASCAR playoff system, and man, you get in, it's not over from there. You still got several weeks to try and go through and win a championship, and anything can happen, Jake. You look back, what was it, back in 2011 when Tony Stewart snuck in. He himself said, we don't even deserve to be in the playoffs, and capped the season off as the season champion. So, Jake, it's going to be crazy tonight here, man. I mean, you've got this D-shaped oval in Richmond, multiple grooves that these guys can get on here. They're going to be fighting for the bottom, definitely for sure, and we're going to be racing this thing in the daytime, so it's going to be hot, and it's going to be slick, and man, I think we're going to have a lot of action if anything of the last few weeks dictates anything for this race.
Oh, absolutely. You know, another short track. It's our third in a row, but, you know, this place is a little bit different. It's 3/4 of a mile, so it's a little bit bigger than Bristol and Martinsville the last 2 weeks. I think if these guys get their feet underneath them, I think we could see some green flag runs. And, this place can turn into a little racy of a track. You throw in the fact that, hey, man, this is a cutoff race for the playoff like it was for NASCAR for a few years. And, that typically put on a great show for the guys trying to make themselves, get locked into the playoffs. And, we got some storylines, with that. Obviously, there's still, 3 or 4 guys trying to march their way into it. So, here we go, Dean. I think it's going to be very, very interesting just to watch all 125 laps and see how this thing unfolds.
Oh, for sure, Jake. And for anybody who hasn't followed our Speed Racing Network Truck Series before, we run a 20-week season, and these guys are running fixed setups. What that means is these setups in all these trucks are identical. Essentially, you're going to see different paint jobs, maybe different manufacturers, but this is all about driver talent. It's going to come down to who can wheel these things the best, and we've got 2 fast repairs under these vehicles. What that means is if you get any damage on your truck, you maybe have a blown motor, a ton of damage, you can go into the pits, get reset. These drivers pay $5 a week to race in our series, and we pay out each race just like a real racetrack would, and at the end of the season, and $300 is going to go to the first place in our overall championship at the end of the season. And we have something a little different here. We have a 5-person team championship that pays $100 to a team at the end of the season. So, Jake, a lot of money up for grabs by the time this thing's over with the weekly and season payouts.
Oh, absolutely. There's money for yourself if you're in the final 5 drivers for the championship. You package that with the team championship. I mean, you come in first place in both. That's $325 to $320 depending on how many guys you have on your team. So, Speed Racing Network, man, kind of feels like a credit union. But obviously, here's our race payouts. If you come in first tonight, you're gonna win $25 as well as an Xfinity race entry. So that can turn for yourself into even more money because you go out tomorrow night, Thursday night, for our Xfinity race. You finish in the top 7, or however the race payouts will be tomorrow. That's even more money in your pocket. Second place is going to come home with $15. Third and fourth place, you'll double your money, walk away with $10. And if you finish here tonight, 5th through 7th, Dean, you get your money back and you can put it towards next week's race. So that's always a great feeling, when you finish 5th, 6th, or 7th. At least you've gotten your money back.
Yeah, and Jake, one thing we would like to add is with this particular week and the weeks moving forward, just because we are starting our playoffs, the rules did change just a little bit for this week. So unfortunately, we won't have any type of part-timer drivers going in. They're going to be excluded for the next few weeks. But yeah, man, I mean, just a ton of money here to go through and pick up. And we talked about the single race payouts. There's a ton more to be had in terms of the overall season payouts, Jake. Now the season payouts for the championship are sponsored by Griffith's CPA firm. Once again, we mentioned $300 there to our champion. Second place is still going to get a cool $150. Third place is going to get $100. Fourth place will get $75, and Jake, fifth place is going to wind up coming home with $50. And then whoever is the overall best out of that team championship is going to bring home that $100 to split amongst their drivers.
Absolutely, and that's the thing right there. a ton of money coming out of it, but at the same time, we've also got other great sponsors that are, if you're not in the top 5 to be a driver's championship prize winner, or on the team championship winning team, there's other things we, with the help of awesome sponsors, we give away, and that's going to lead us into our next one here. It's going to be the Clean Driver Award. So this is given out to the driver that has the cleanest season from start to finish. All 20 weeks of our season here in Speed Racing Network's Truck Series. Doing this also for the Xfinity Cup Series, so you'll see the same thing on those broadcasts. But the driver with the lowest amount of incidents per lap is going to walk away with a butt kicker. And this is a device you can add to your sim racing experience. You can throw it on your rig. Your or a legitimate like racing tub seat, or even if you're using an office chair, you can put it onto that. And what this thing does, it emulates every single movement you would feel if you were sitting in the real car. That way, any bumps on the track, you run over the curb if you're on a road course or anywhere that has a curbing. You feel that, and that's that's what it's all about, right? If you got you see these full motion sim rigs. This kind of just gets you a little bit closer to that, while not burning the bank, so to speak. But and if you aren't able to win it with the lowest amount of incident points per lap, so you can use our discount code on Buck Kicker's website. It's going to be SRNVS20 to save yourself 20% off your next order with them. So go to check them out. It's awesome. It's something I've heard about for years and years. So go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, Jake, definitely a great group there. And another great thing that we offer here with Speed Racing Network is Kane Cook coaching sessions. Kane Cook's been on iRacing for several years. If you don't know who he is, he's a part of the Coca-Cola series, which is the absolute upper echelon of the sim racing world. That means that he's gone through many, 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 many leagues to be able to get where he's at. Phenomenal driver, Jake. I mean, he is what is basically known as the hard charger in iRacing. And in order to get that kind of title, what you do is you start towards the back of a field and just kind of work your way up through the field. And I've seen footage of him where he started dead last in a race, just worked his way up and been at the right place at the right time and taken a many of wins. And like I said, I mean, if you guys ever have any type of interest in a Kane Cook coaching session to try to boost your sim racing experience, you can check it out on speedracingnetwork.com. We do groups, solo sessions, multiple hours, a little bit of everything. Kane's got something there for you to help you get better in that sim racing world.
Absolutely. I know you've run it. I've heard other guys in the league, so make sure you check that out. And someone that is checked out, ready to go for the playoffs, is going to be our points leader right now. Michael Mann's got himself locked in, obviously, as well as all these other drivers you see on the screen in the standings list that are highlighted in green. These guys are ready to go for next week at Talladega. They've just had that great of a season, or regular season, that it doesn't matter. They could finish dead last and still be showing up for the playoffs, having a shot. So props to these 7 guys. Obviously, Michael Mann, Corey Saucier, Cole Martin, Nathan Nixon, Brandon Domain, Jack Johnson, and Jose Castellanos. They deserve the credit that they've put in the work to not have to worry about tonight. But then you've got 8th through 15th right here that are inside the playoffs right now. But I mean, Dean, there's a reason why they're not locked in yet. Anything can happen. We're going to see these guys looking on the outside, looking in, when we move on to the next screen. So I really think, though, I think it's 14th and 15th that need to be a little bit more worried themselves right now with, what the cut line looks like, Dean.
Oh yeah, Jake. They're definitely coming into this race saying, hey, it's been a good 12 weeks. We got to have one more great one to be able to go and race for that championship money. And like you said, when we look outside the cut, you have a lot of guys here who still mathematically have a chance. We go down to 23rd in Cody Riggs, 22nd in Joe Ruggles Jr., 21st in Corey Knight. You may see his name listed as Ashton Knight. 20th is Cody Madden. 19th is Vincent Cortez, James Kerr is 18th, 17th is Jeffrey Stewart, and Matt Johnson just 2 points out of that there, Jake. Had a little bit of trouble last week at Martinsville and was very, very close to getting himself in, but he's going to come back. He always fights with a lot of speed here in these races. And Jake, let me ask you here, man. I mean, you're sitting here looking at these guys outside the cut. If you had to draw a magic line as to where you think the realistic guys with a chance have it, where would you put that at?
I'd have to say probably about 18th on up. So James Kerr, Jeffrey Stewart, and Matt Johnson. I think if you're within that 10 points, I think that's where you can get it done and get yourself locked into the playoffs. It's tough, right? So we've got, I believe, only roughly 30 trucks in the field right now. So 10 points, that's a third of the field. You've got to be ahead of these guys. And, the guys that are in the playoffs, right? They're the top 15. They're usually running up front. So that means you've got to be outperforming a guy that is, consistently all season long, been running really well. And, with having two faster pairs, Dean, even if they get involved into a wreck, they still have a faster pair left that they're able to use it, get themselves back through the field. It just makes it that much harder with this thing. So realistically, though, I know I just said those three drivers there, but I think it's going to be Matt Johnson, and the flip side of who's in the playoffs that we will really have to keep our eye on. I think it's just going to be very, very hard with these three guys trying to make themselves into the playoff.
Yeah, Jake, and I'll tell you, let's take a look for some of the fans at home here as to what some of these drivers who we saw not locked in or outside the cut, what they can do to try to get in this evening and guarantee it. If you're Kyle Wimble or Byron McDonald, 35th or better this evening will guarantee your spot into the playoffs. Jonathan Byer and Josh Mueller, 24th or better. Andrew Harris, who has shown a lot of speed the last few weeks, Jake, 22nd or better. Then we go here and we look at Rob Yost, 19th or better will guarantee him a spot no matter what. Sean Kozier, 11th or better. And if Bobby Anderson or Matt Johnson can come through with a win this evening, they will absolutely be locked into our playoffs starting next week, Jake.
Absolutely, and that's the thing right here, right? You've got these four guys, 19th, 11th, or wins. That's what we were talking about earlier in the show, Dean. It's these are the things we get to watch, unfold in front of us, as well as all the fans watching on the broadcast. So these are four names we'll keep in the back of our head to keep an eye out all race long. It's going to add to the show tonight, and that's what's going to make this race that much better. We're going to be looking, real quick who got involved in the wreck. Are they locked into the playoffs, or are these a couple of these guys that are trying to get themselves into the playoffs? So, that's what Richmond and tonight's going to bring. It's going to be another or a different type of atmosphere. You say playoffs, and it kind of just changes the mojo of all these drivers. I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure, Jake. And, we talk a lot about the single drivers there in terms of what's going on with the season. But why don't we take a look here at the team standings overall for the Truck Series season, sponsored by Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia. Jake, I actually had just gotten a package from them today. I came home, it was waiting on my steps, and I had ordered one of their lunchbox programs, and I had gotten some awesome die casts. A lot of stuff I had never really seen before in terms of sports memorabilia. Probably my favorite one out of the box, because these are all at random, right? Was a 1997 Jeff Gordon Championship car, and it's got a little mini Jeff Gordon standing on the car. It was the coolest thing I've seen as I build my man cave up. So it'll definitely be going on the wall. But check them out on Shopify. And Jake, like we mentioned, Rev Racing up front with 3 wins, a very healthy points lead. Jonathan Byer Racing in second with no wins, but still holding down that second spot pretty well. R&D Motorsports with 3 wins in third. Striker Motorsports with no wins in fourth. Team SRN up a spot from last week. Still no wins, but they are in fifth. Bronco Motorsports coming in sixth. Jake, they've got 5 wins, but they're down on drivers. So, they are just dominating right now. Just don't have the people up front to get the points they need. And Tank Racing in seventh, and H2k Motorsports rounding out the team championship.
Exactly. And, I think on that list, what's, obviously interesting is the fact, Jonathan Byer has no wins, but they're holding firm in second place. But, we'll dive into it here with obviously our team intros. We're going to show you each and every single driver on these teams. First off is going to be that first place team, Rev Racing, man. Obviously all season long they've come out of they came out of the gate strong from week one, man. They've been very quick all up front. It's been impressive to watch. You got Michael Menn leading it with 2 wins for their team in the 15 truck. Our co-broadcaster Byron McDonald running in the truck series for the number 23. Nathan Nixon was able to squeak out a win at Daytona Road Course, and then their 4th guy, Sean Kozier, here in the 97. One of these guys we're going to have to keep our eye on. He's right above the cut, trying to make sure he gets himself into these playoffs, as well as the 224 Cody Riggs.
Yeah, Jake and Rev definitely been showing that domination. You mentioned Jonathan Bauer Racing there in second with no wins. That's going to be comprised of Jack Johnson in the 35, Matt Johnson in the 61, Jonathan Bauer there in the 66, James Kerr in the 75, and Kyle Wimble there in the 91. I mean, that team, Jake, right now, you got Matt Johnson and James Kerr on the outside looking in, but man, I tell you what, they could definitely put a good night together and have multiple drivers in that championship hunt.
Oh, and that's the thing, right? You might not be winning every single week or have wins at all, but to have yourself second place in the team standings is very, very impressive. It doesn't go unnoticed at all because we've seen those other teams. They've got multiple wins, 3, 4, 5, however you cut it. And here's a team with no wins, but is able to week in and week out, have 4 or 5 guys usually in the top 20. That kind of just shows you their style of racing, and they might not, whether it's just been bad luck, trying to go for wins or things like that, but they're still up front running fast. So I think that's something to watch. Obviously, with these playoffs, that's going to help them, get their drivers through the next round. For another team here, R&D Motorsports, this is going to be, led by Corey Saucier. We've seen him up front all season long, man. He's got 3 wins. They were all in a row. It was crazy to see that happen. And as we were broadcasting for these races, he's been up front all season long. You got his teammates here behind him: Bobby Anderson, Jason Kratky, Trevor White, as well as Mike Mosby. This is a team. I think they're not out of it. I know it might seem like it, but you never know, right? Rev Racing has had such a heck of a start to the first 12 races of the season, but who's to say something? The flip doesn't switch, so to speak, and that luck could go south. Unfortunately for them, you just never know in motorsports.
Yeah, Jake, and like you said, R&D, a definitely great team here. Another great team in 4th place in our team standings. Our old team, Striker Motorsports, you got led by Travis Trevelyan in the 71. You have Jose Castellanos in the 4th, Mike Lewis in the 5th, Brandon Domain in the 20th, or in 20 car, and Joe Ruggles there in the 96. Kind of a consistent team this year, Jake. Just hit a little bit of a hard luck stretch, but I tell you, one of those guys on that team I'm definitely watching this evening is going to be Brandon Domain.
Yeah, right now qualifying's happened. He's got himself in 4th place, so got to watch out for that. And here we go. Our next team in the team standings is going to be Bronco Motorsports. They've got 4 drivers, and the last few weeks it seems like it's only been Cole Martin and Andrew Harris showing up, so that's kind of why you've seen them, kind of take a dive in the team standings. Obviously, we take the top 4 drivers, so it's tough when that happens. But you got the 81 of Michael York, you got a 3-time winner in the 85 truck of Cole Martin. Then you got Brian Crocker, the 86, and another winner on the team is going to be Andrew Harris, who has 2 wins this season.
Yeah, Jake, the next team up on our team championship standings, that's going to be the home team, Team SRN. That's going to be comprised of Tevin Whitner in the 9, Taylor Smith in the 24, Corey Knight in the 90, Rob Yost in the 92, and Brad Yonkman in the 93. Team, Jake, that, like I said, just kind of been they've had their shining moments up front, but for the most part, unfortunately, they've kind of been right outside the top 10 or flirting with it. Flirting with the top 10 each week, whether it be due to bad luck or bad speed. But like I said, these guys are going to get it figured out before the end of the year. And another group that will get it figured out for sure is going to be Tank Racing. We've gotten to race with them, Jake, in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and that's comprised of Walt Lipicki, Josh Mueller in the 26, Vincent Cortez in the 69, and Jeremy Duncan there in the 79.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? They've got 4 guys, so one thing goes wrong for a team that's got 4, or someone doesn't show up, it just makes it that much harder for a team like this with only 4 drivers to, able to capitalize on other teams and, gain points. And obviously, it's just a reason why they're mirrored back because, none of these guys, these are 4 really good drivers. They're consistent and clean. So it's something you don't like to see when you've raced with them before in other, series in our league. So, but it's just been that kind of year, and another team where it's been like that, it's going to be H2k Motorsports with their truck series team. You got the 13 of David Swift, Josh Witt in the 16 truck, Cody Mann, Michael Mann's brother in the 17, Justin Kruckman in that 19 truck, as well as Jeffrey Stewart in the 115. Another guy, Dean, who we spoke on. He's got a shot to get himself in this thing, so got to watch out for that 115 truck tonight.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you what, then you have the guys who have raced with us all season long who just haven't found themselves on a team, and that's the 7 of John Doc Holliday, the 42 of Kevin Winker, and the 48 of Evan Scott. So, Jake, like I said, I mean, we're qualifying just wrapped up here, buddy, and we're going to go to our grid for the Rich Get Richer 125 here from Richmond. No surprise out front, Cole Martin in the 85 for Bronco Motorsports, Corey Saucier there in second for R&D, Vincent Cortez for Tank Racing in third, Kevin Winker, one of those independents, in fourth, Brandon Domain from Stryker Motorsports in fifth, and Cody Riggs there in sixth for Rev Racing.
In seventh place, you're going to have Bobby Anderson, R&D Motorsports. Eighth place is going to be Nathan Nixon from Rev Racing. Ninth place is going to be Cole Martin's teammate, Andrew Harris from Bronco Motorsports. So 2 Bronco trucks up front, kind of been the theme of the show the last few weeks. Evan Scott in the 48 truck for Filthy 5, going to have a top 10 starting position. Jose Castellanos from Stryker Motorsports starting 11th. And then Michael Madden in the 15 truck rounding out our top 12 here from Rev Racing. So, that's 3 Rev Racing trucks there in the top 12. That's, pretty impressive. Another thing that's, alarming to the rest of the field, Cole Martin, man, was over a 10th faster than second place for qualifying. So, another short track. We show up for SRN, and Cole Martin's got the speed every single short track we've gone to so far. So, something to watch out for again, Dean. Is the 85 truck going to be pulling into victory lane again tonight?
Well, Jake, I tell you here, I was just going through and looking at the number of drivers that we have in our field this evening. We've got 33. Kyle Wimble and Byron McDonald needed to finish 35th or better to make the playoffs. So I would like, if those guys are listening or their fans are at home, your boys have made it into the playoffs there in Wimble and McDonald. So, Jake, as we look through the rest of the field, who you got this evening, buddy? Who's your favorite to win this one here at Richmond?
Oh, man. I want to go the pole sitter, but that's just too easy to pick the fastest guy. I think I'm going to go the 69 truck, Vincent Cortez, kind of ride along with the storyline of him trying to make it into the playoffs. I think it'd be pretty awesome to see that happen if he were to go out here and win this thing, get himself into the playoffs. So I'm going to go that 69 truck of Vincent Cortez, from Tank Racing, Dean.
Well, Jake, I like your strategy here. I think it's fun to not always call the fastest guy in qualifying. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to reach back here just a little bit further than what you did. I'm going to reach there to that third row on the inside, Brandon Domain in that 20 truck for Stryker Motorsports. He's shown a lot of speed all season, and I think just his patience and virtue in this entire series, that's going to net him his very first win tonight. But, Jake, before we get there, we've got 125 laps to go at this D-shaped oval in the Commonwealth. Pace truck's going to be off, and the field is going to be in the hands of Cole Martin for the umpteenth time this season, Jake. The green flag's getting ready to come out. It is in the air. He takes off. Corey Saucier going to get a very good run to his outside. Looks like Cole got caught sleeping just a little bit, Jake.
Yeah, Cole Martin, he wanted to wait for the green flag, but then Corey Saucier was able to, have a better reaction time to the green flag coming out. But right now, down the backstretch, Cole Martin able to take back the lead. Corey's going to fall in line behind him as we go through 3 and 4. And Kevin Winker kind of got a little tight in front of Vincent Cortez. Vincent right there going to move back up to third place. So that's how quick one lap is here at Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, Jake, and the big thing here is, we got to see at Bristol a couple weeks ago, you were dealing with about 15-second laps. Last week at Martinsville, you were dealing with about 20-second laps. This week, you're dealing with about 21 seconds, but the speed is such a bigger deficit. You're doing 3/4 of a mile here, and these guys are getting up to close to 150 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway before they arc it into a very, very deep diamond corner to try and go through and carry as much speed as what they can, and it's a very track sensitive. Yeah, Sean Kozer, a little loose there on the grass, no caution, going to stay green. But it's just a very line-sensitive track here, Jake, and you've got to hit your marks just right, otherwise you're washed up into maybe a little bit of a less than a desirable line. But the good news here with Richmond is the day goes on, these multiple groups will begin to come in. Like I said, they're going to be fighting for the bottom here early. But as this race goes on, you're going to see these trucks starting to move a little higher and a little higher. We got a little more problems going down in here looking into turn 1. Looks like Cody Madden might have been involved there for H2k, but we are still green, Jake.
Yeah, we're going to come across the line here. It's going to be lap 5, man. 5 laps already ticked off. So and
there is the yellow,
Jake. Sure enough, we talk about a Dean and Taylor Smith right there in the 24 truck for Team SRN's heavy damage. You see the engine smoking. So, spoke too soon. Maybe we shouldn't have brought it up, man. But we saw a 5-lap green run right there. Something we didn't see the last 2 weeks. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jake. We'll take a look at this Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec replay to see exactly what had happened there to the 24 truck. Everything happens very fast here at this track, and
almost clipped the wall there out of 2, and then it
was in front of
wow.
him, Jake. Oh my goodness, that was the 7 truck of Doc Holliday. He got moved, it looked like, by the 35 truck there. Was trying to get a number for that to see exactly who that was, who he had made contact with.
I think it was a 35. I believe that's going to be Jack Johnson from Jonathan Fire Racing. Trying to pick up spots, and unfortunately, didn't have enough real estate there. Got into the left rear of John Doc Holliday, sent him spinning, and Taylor Smith, wrong place, wrong time right there. Doc Holliday came spinning up the track, and Taylor just had nowhere to go. And obviously, heavy damage. That 24 truck's going to have to use a fast repair. Here we are, lap 5, already using them.
This Jeffrey Stewart here missing this, Jake. He needs a good race, and he's going to get the brakes.
Oh, nice job.
Perfection by him. He saw it, he checked up, managed to not get involved in it. That's the kind of stuff right there that can be the difference in making a championship playoff and not. And Jake, one thing you had mentioned there when we had seen the initial view down the backstretch with Taylor Smith, that wall comes up very, very fast out of turn 2. That's one thing I'm going to be watching tonight for sure. The angle it comes off that corner, it's a weird one, man. And if you've never actually been on this track or seen it, it just comes up so fast to the point that sometimes it's kind of hard to even miss it there.
It wants to jump out and take a bite out of your right side of the car, and that's the thing, right? You got to have that in the back of your mind when you're coming out of turn 2, especially if you're too wide, and you're on the outside. The guy on the inside of you kind of uses you up, man. It makes that outside wall just a little bit closer. So that's something we're going to be watching. I think that's going to be kind of the red zone, so to speak. If we're talking football, right? That's I think where quite a bit of our accidents might happen tonight. Obviously, that previous one, which has caused our first yellow of the race, was into 3, but I think out of 2 is going to be the spot on the track tonight. Dean, we'll see quite a bit of contact and some trucks going the opposite way.
Yeah, Jake, and I was just kind of looking through here. I am not entirely certain there. Now, just to make sure, I just want to make sure that I had heard your call right. I might have misunderstood. I thought you said it was Matt Johnson in the 35 tonight. That was Jack Johnson in the 35. So if we goofed, I'm sorry. It's an exciting night up here in the booth.
Yeah, I think we did say Jack Johnson. It's all right, Dean. You're just that amped up for these playoffs and what's going to unfold in front of us here on the track at Richmond Raceway.
Oh, yeah, Jake, and, hey, it doesn't help either that, when you got me up here in the booth, I'm like a big dumb Labrador. I'm just sitting here kind of watching what happens. But, man, it looks like here we're getting ready to go back green again. Cloud covers begin to creep in a little bit here to Richmond, so the track will be a little cooler. But this time, Cole Martin's definitely not going to be caught napping. He's going to get that big launch out of the box. Down for turn number 1 he goes. Sean Kozer going to be right there in tow. Or, I'm sorry, not Sean Kozer, but Corey Saucier.
Yeah, Corey Saucier, that 3 truck, man, and you see the 2 wide action right behind him between Vincent Cortez and Brandon Domain. So right now our picks side by side battling for 3rd, and these 2 trucks in front of them are starting to walk away a little bit. That's what just happens when you're too wide at this place. It slows your pace down, and the guys in front of you kind of pull away, but these guys get it single filed out. Brandon Domain's going to capitalize, take 3rd place, and try to run our leaders down. But Nathan Nixon on the outside now, Vincent Cortez.
Look at the run Brandon Domain got off that high side off of turn 3 and 4, and Nathan Nixon's going to get the same thing here. Just able to drive it in from a little higher, get a little better rotation, and it single files out here very, very quickly, Jake. But when you wind up 2 wide, and even sometime tonight we might see 3 wide sooner than later. It's going to get very, very tight. You got a little more room to race off of turn 3 and 4, but I personally feel like the racing cars are a lot more susceptible to spinning by themselves off of 3 and 4, but you're more prone to, if you're not watching what you're doing, you're going to slap that wall in a quick hurry off of 2.
They definitely are, and right now Corey Saucier in that 3 truck has run our leader down, Cole Martin, so the gap's closed up. That's why we're focusing on it right now with our camera. As you see, that 3 truck is just right there behind Cole on his rear tailgate. trying to find a way behind him. He's trying to look to the outside down the front, deciding, where Cole goes. Maybe he doesn't want it, or he goes the opposite way. But right now, Corey Saucier able to rip the paint down in 1 and 2 on the yellow line and get a really good run. And now it's just a matter of fact, where do I go in 3 and 4 to get around this guy? Because when you're behind a guy like Corey Saucier is right now, you can tell you're quicker. It's early though, so you don't want to make contact trying to get around him. But at what point do you start to get a little more impatient as you see these guys from behind starting to close in closer to you?
Yeah, and Jake, one thing that I think right now that's going to actually play a little bit of a role tonight, we haven't seen it do it in a while, is actually going to be pit strategy. I mean, these guys are getting some decent green flag laps in, and proud of every one of these guys tonight being able to go through, rip this very difficult Richmond track. And it's going to be a matter, Jake, as these runs get a little deeper and a little deeper, these tires will wear more and more, and sooner than later, you're going to want those 4 fresh field goods. But I tell you right now, there's a couple drivers just kind of peeling through the field that I'm looking at. Just a moment ago, I was kind of looking at a through the field, so to speak. Got Rob Yost, who actually started shotgun on the field.
Oh, yellow flags out on the track, though. Oh, Jeffrey Stewart there avoiding another accident. He was checked up, no damage on the truck. So Corey Knight right there in the 90 truck for Team SRN, he seemed to have avoided whatever happened in front of these guys, as when we cut to it, they were obviously slowed down. But here we go, another one, Dean. Another Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia wreck replay. Got to give these drivers props. We're on lap 17, and it's only the second yellow. Obviously, last week it kind of felt like it was almost every other lap we were seeing the yellow flag out. But 26 at Josh Mueller getting into the back of Corey Knight into 3, spinning that truck around.
Travis Trevelyan then getting into the back of the 26 there himself. Jake, that's the crazy thing with this closing rate. Like I said, I mean, you're going from down this backstretch probably about 140 miles an hour down to roughly about 90, and right there, you got the multiple lanes that you can go. Corey tried to fit the truck in front of the 26, and may have just misjudged it a little bit, Jake, and around he goes. I don't think he's got a ton of damage. Maybe he'll be able to salvage without using one of his fast repairs. But Jeffrey Stewart, much like I did at Martinsville last week, Jake, has a shotgun look over another wreck here. Just about gets into it, but saves it once again. So I know that helpless feeling that 115 is going through, but our guys are on pit road right now, Jake.
Yeah, they are, and 2 trucks staying out. It's going to be the 42 of Kevin Winker and the 18 of Bobby Anderson. Going to be quite interesting. Our leader Cole Martin was 7/10 already off his pace. With only about 10 to 12 green flag laps on those tires. So. This is what we're going to see, later on in the race, coming to the checkered flag. If there's a late yellow, who stays out, who goes down to pit lane to get some tires, things like that. It's going to be interesting, especially throw on the fact that, hey, man, it's the last race of the regular season. We've got playoff implications every single way you look. So I think this is a telling tale of what we'll see at the end of the race if we have a yellow with only about 10 laps or fewer to go, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, I think this is definitely something that they're putting into the notebook right now. This might have also been a little bit of possibly a track position type game. Now, I didn't get to see if under the first caution if these guys had ducked down pit road, but if they hadn't had a little more, a little fresher of rubber, they might have just stayed out here saying, hey, I didn't really burn my stuff up. I feel like I can be in contention with them. But this is definitely going in the notebook for later in the night, without a doubt.
Yeah, it'll be, what's going to be interesting right here, when we go green, how many green flag laps do we get? How quickly do they fall back through the field? Where do they fall back to? Because, if you're one of those guys, like we said, Vincent Cortez, Jeffrey Stewart, if you stay out with only about 5 laps to go and there's a yellow, with a 5 lap, with 5 laps to go, we have a restart and that's the run to the end. Can you make up those points you need to get yourself into the playoffs? They got to be having someone, spotter, crew chief, whatever you want to call it, in your ear. Or if you don't, man, you got to be aware of this thing, because this is how you can get yourself into a playoff, by having some cheeky strategy, and sneak your way into it. This is what it's all about. The fastest car doesn't always get into the playoffs or win the race for that matter. And that's the thing, man. You could save your whole season by pulling a move like these 2 guys and getting yourself, the amount of points you need to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, Jake. Last season when we ran Mid-South Madness, we had the very distinct pleasure of having a win and you're in type scenario. If you won a race and you made a certain number of races throughout the season, you automatically got to make it into the playoffs. And shoot, what did we knock that out, Jake? I think I won race number 2 at Bristol. You won the next week at Atlanta. So, we knew that we were in the playoffs from an early point. But these guys here, Jake, I like this system a lot better. Going to force these guys to be consistent week in and week out, and not just go for the wins just for the fun of it, but actually it means something. So we've got the one to go here. The pace truck's going to make its way off the track, and the field's going to be in the hands of the independent season driver with us this season, Kevin Winker. And that 42 truck, he's got the field to his back. He can go whenever he wants to, and he begins to take off. Cole Martin's going to be very, very close in tow as they head for turn number 1.
Hey, Cole Martin right up behind him, ready to the inside of Bobby Anderson as we go through 1. Kevin Winker going to wash up the track. He's going to leave the door open on the inside for Cole, and that's the difference right here in tires. Cole was able to get a really, really good run off the bottom, and kind of set himself up to take the inside into 3 and 4. And Cole Martin's got himself cleared as he gets a little loose though at a 4. It's going to bring Kevin Winker back to the outside of this 85 truck as they barrel down into turn 1.
Oh, that's what Corey Saucier loves to see right there, Jake. He's got to get up here to Cole Martin's bumper. He had a little more speed than him on the long run, and you love seeing him race side by side right now, kind of burning his stuff up while you can pick whatever lane you want. Eventually, Cole Martin's going to get past here, and he sure does. But if you're Saucier, you've got to go through, get clear of this 42 truck as quick as you can, and set your sights on P1.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, right? So Kevin Winker, it's been three laps so far, and he's hanging tough on the outside. He's battling for second. So here you go. You stay out, you run the high side. You're able to kind of hang with these guys on fresher tires. You might give up a couple spots, but this is the difference we were talking about. This could get you into the playoffs. So that 42 truck is hanging tough with obviously the fastest 2 trucks, top 3 right here. He's holding his own as Nathan Nixon not able to make the move on the inside of the 42 truck. Gonna let Kevin get down to the bottom. Don't know if that's where he wants to be on those older tires.
Trouble behind him,
around.
We've got one around. It's the 66, Jonathan Byer, and everybody behind him begins to scatter. He's going to roll.
Good job by the field. No one else running into him, though.
Yeah, looks to be just a single car around. Might have been a little contact from the rear there, Jake, but otherwise a pretty clean spin right there by Jonathan Byer. But let's take a look what happened here on the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay.
And we're going to see it here again on another rec replay here. Looks like it's the 66 truck going to be on the inside. He's got his teammates right behind him in the 91 and the 75. The 91, that's Kyle Wimble, I believe. Obviously, these 2 guys are teammates. That's not what you want to do. And the team name is Jonathan Byer Racing. So obviously, Jonathan getting a little shot from behind. I'm sure it was not on. It was all incidental right here. And just unfortunately for Jonathan, gets put around. Runs up the track in front of another team truck, and these 2 guys got some damage. Doesn't look terribly too bad for these guys, so don't think they'll have to use a fast repair just yet, Dean. Especially when you factor in the we're on lap 28, 125, here at Richmond.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you right there, Andrew Harris, he got so close to being caught up in that as well. It just looked like Jonathan was able just to barely keep that 66 truck off the left rear.
Oh, Vincent Cortez had to come to a screaming halt right there in the 69 truck.
That's just how fast everything happens in these race trucks here, Jake. And like I said, I mean, we're getting the bird's eye view of it up here in the booth. These guys down here, right on the track, you can see so far at this track, like down the front straightaway and down the back straightaway. But sometimes it's kind of hard to really tell, if you're coming off of turn 2 legitimately and somebody goes through and is spinning down in turns 3 and 4, you better be ready to react to it immediately, because you're there. You're in turn 3 in a matter of seconds. So, great job by everyone there checking up, going around everything, and Jonathan Bauer is going to be able to continue on here and try and work his way back up through the field a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we're gonna move back through further back to the pack. It's gonna be the 61 truck of Matt Johnson right now, running 23rd. He's got no damage or anything like we saw with his other teammates there, but this is one of those drivers that trying to get themselves into the playoffs. He's got to be 2 points better than Bobby Anderson, and right now, I believe Bobby is Yeah, a couple spots behind him. So, if this is, if this were the final lap, we'd be seeing Matt Johnson into the playoffs and Bobby Anderson getting knocked out of it. But we're lap 30 of 125, and, anything is possible.
Yeah, Jake, a lot of racing to go, about a quarter of a way through this one. And, man, I tell you what, through this first about quarter of the race, we've seen some awesome racing action. We've seen tires get a little worn, see guys begin to chase people down here and there. And right now, Jake, I'm telling you, even though Cole Martin has spent the majority of the night out front, I think Corey Saucier in that 3 has just a little better of a truck than he does. He just needs it to go green long enough for him to get in the position he needs to be in.
Yeah, and that's the thing, we got these two guys up front, right? They've had themselves locked in for, I believe, 2 weeks now. It might not have been confirmed, but realistically, they had to have terrible luck. So these guys right now, they're trying to fight for those bonus points because that first round of the playoffs, bonus points matters. So it's kind of a little safer or a safe cushion for themselves. So it's something to see how racy these guys get. This thing, ends at their, at the end of the race, talking, points for the playoffs. That could pay off huge dividends for your, either Cole Martin or Corey Saucier.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you right now, one thing that's paying huge dividends for Cole Martin is that P1 spot. The pace truck's going to be off. He's going to get into the gas again. Corey Saucier going to have a little bit of a hard time. Michael Madden spins the tires a little further back.
Yeah, Michael Madden
in the field up just a little bit there, Jake. I'm not sure if he spun the tires, missed a shift. What happened?
It also kind of looks like he got into in the back. A little damage, I think, on that tailgate of that 15 truck. So that, someone lifting up your rear tires, that'll definitely slow you down on these restarts. But man, right now Corey Saucier is just going at Cole Martin, trying to get around him. He's there, trying to make a move for this lead as he's got Nathan Nixon in 3rd place right behind him. And Kevin Winker again, man, on those older tires, able to hang tough in 4th place right now.
I'll tell you what, Jacob, but we might know to giving Kevin Winker enough credit here. Oh, caution's out again here, Jake.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be the 10 of Walt Lipicki.
Yeah, Jake, I don't think we may have given Kevin Winker enough credit here. I know he was kind of middle of the pack at the start of the race. He's got up front here with a little track position, and I'll tell you what, he gets on some even tires, he might have something to say. But right now, let's take a look at what happened with Walt with our Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay.
Yeah, you're going to see the 10 truck here of Tank Racing on the high side as they head into 1. That's the 81 truck. Oh, no, it's going to be the 75. Yeah, the 75 truck, I believe that is James Kerr from Jonathan Byer Racing right here. But we'll see here. It was, he kind of got loose.
Yeah.
Had to check up. Walt had to get out of the gas. And the 75, when you're right there, right behind the guy, they kind of check up a little bit in the middle of the corner. All of a sudden, you're making contact with the guy. And that's kind of what we see right here is it looked like Walt just kind of got a little loose. The truck seemed to get out of shape. Probably had to get off that gas pedal, and that split second of getting off the gas, you lose the momentum, and the 75 is right there into your rear bumper, and that's obviously what sent Walt around. So
yeah, Jake, so a lot of that last week at Martinsville. I mean, such a momentum-based track, and with something like there, you hate to see it for Walt. Definitely hate to see it there with James Kerr getting into the back of him. He's another guy who needs a very, very good race this evening, and kind of been mired towards the back of the field all night. But that's just kind of the racing with these short tracks. I mean, next week when we go to Talladega, we're going to be dealing with a completely different brand of racing. There, the lines don't matter so much, but as you see Travis Trevelyan come around here, Travis had to go to the garage for just a few laps to repair a little bit of an engine miss that he had a bit ago, and in the process of doing so, he lost about 10 laps. So he's hoping to go through here, Jake, and he's hoping to see this thing turn very, very, very yellow so he can try and gain some positions before the end of this race.
Hey, man, I mean, you get 10 yellow or 9 more yellows, that's 9 more lucky dogs, and Travis Trevelyan will work his way back onto the lead lap. Hopefully that for his sake happens. Hopefully though we get to see some green flag racing. Kind of haven't been able to see it in the truck series these last few weeks. They've kind of been ridden with yellow flags. Obviously last week we had 21 cautions. That was something, never saw that before. But anyways, yeah, Dean. Kevin Winker, man, let's talk about that, right? He stays out and he's not pitted again, and he's still P4.
Yeah, Jake, like we said, he was holding right there with it. And I tell you what, while Cole Martin, I won't say he made quick work of Kevin. It took him a couple laps before he was really able to go through and get around him. That allowed Corey Saucier and Nathan Nixon to get right back to his bumper. And Kevin's going to have this outside starting spot. He's going to get a lot of drive off the second corner. And Jake, I tell you, we go a few more laps here to a point where these drivers feel comfortable coming down to get tires again. Kevin may have made a heck of a move for himself tonight. Like I said, we don't know how this is going to play out by the end of the race, but right now that 42 is looking like he made the best move he possibly could have.
Yeah, kind of, interesting to see. Obviously, he qualified fourth. He was in the top four when that yellow came out and all these guys came down. So, maybe he's just trying to figure it out. He wants to go out and win one of these things. So maybe if there's a late yellow and guys pit, he wants to stay out. He's already going to know what it's going to be like. So, it's a smart move. What's the point? You're an independent driver here. You're just trying to chase after those checkered flags. So Kevin Winker, man, might have found something here with this, research, so to speak. But Cole Martin going to go early here. The pace truck peels off. And Cole Martin early on the gas. He's going to get a good jump. That's going to make Nathan Nixon get to the inside of Corey Saucier as our drivers head down into turn one. Nathan going to try to get there, but I think Corey's just going to get a better run off the top. Going to get himself clear to third place, and now he's going to set his sights and sail towards Cole Martin for that lead.
What a smart move there by Corey Saucier, Jake. He could have driven down, kind of crowded Nathan Nixon a little bit, but he actually moved up farther to the wall to give himself a higher arc to get in on that second groove, and that just gave him so much more momentum to get off the corner. I tell you right now, Corey is running with a passion. He's trying to look everywhere he can on Cole. He's not going to find it right here entering in turn 3 and 4, but if this thing stays green, I think Corey Saucier is going to have himself a very good chance at a P1 here, Jake.
He definitely is, and we see Michael Madden here in 6th place, trying to work on the 20 truck of Brandon Domain for 5th. So Michael Madden trying to get back up front. We saw him kind of had a little bit of a slower restart that last time back, but trying to work his way through the field. We got Jack Johnson back here in 16th. The 35 truck, he's got his teammate Matt Johnson right in front of him. They're in 18th and 17th. Now reset. See, that's just how quickly it goes. The scoring monitor changes so quickly.
Look at how these guys are spread out here, Jake. I mean, they're on every groove at some point in time around the racetrack. A little contact right there. Looks like that was the 61 of Matt Johnson. Looks like he was moving by. Who was that? The 26 of, was it Josh Mueller? Was that who he was moving past?
Yeah, it was Josh Mueller, then 26, 61. It's got himself in 16th. And, right now, obviously, it's early, but Bobby Anderson, that driver, he needs to be 2 places ahead of. Bobby's in 25th. Matt Johnson's up in 15th. So, he's well ahead of Bobby Anderson to get inside the playoffs. So, here we go. This is what tonight's going to be like, and that's what makes it entertaining for you and I, as well as our fans at home. Especially if they're rooting on some of these drivers trying to get into this playoff.
Yeah, Jake, and I'll tell you what, Corey Saucier's up front trying to battle for this lead right now. But as we watch this battle, I want to put a few eyes here on just a few drivers, give you some stats at home. Taylor Smith is up from the 29th starting spot up to 11th. Robert Yost started in 31st and is up to 14th. We took a look just a moment ago there at Josh Mueller. He started in 28th and is up to 16th. So, and there was one more I thought I saw here, maybe not. So, Jake, you got a lot of guys here started further in the back of the field, slowly but surely starting to make their way back up to the front.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad plan. It's something I kind of like to do sometimes when I think the race could be pretty filled with yellows. It just kind of puts yourself in a safer spot. That way you're not getting collected in these accidents. Obviously for us in the Cup, we don't have faster pairs, so that's, even bigger thing for me. Why get yourself wrecked out on lap 15? Obviously these guys got 2 faster pairs, but it's, you just lose that much track position. Especially, we got a truck blowing up there. I'm not sure if that's, I think that was the 10 of Walt Lepicki-Dean. I don't know. Okay, he makes it into the pit lane. I was going to say we might get a yellow flag there from that, but yeah, it's a smart game plan. I like it, especially if you're someone trying to get into the playoffs. You don't have to worry about, someone running over you or getting involved in a wreck.
Yeah, Jake, I tell you, up front, as we watch this battle as they come by the start-finish line between Cole Martin and Corey Saucier, Nathan Nixon just kind of sitting there watching it. Their lap times are so darn close, it's not even funny. That time by at the line, Cole Martin had run a 22.960. I'm going to go and look at Corey Saucier. His exact same lap was a 22.894. So Corey just a little bit faster here, maybe about a half of a tenth a lap. But catching a driver and passing a driver are two totally different things. And if you are Corey and you are faster, you need to get up here and get past Cole as fast as you can so that way you don't let Nathan Nixon creep back in and possibly have something to say about it.
Exactly. We're going to have Walt Lipicki here on the inside of these leaders coming out of pit lane after getting a fast repair, obviously. Oh, this is going to be really tight for our leader, Cole Martin, off of 4. It's going to open the door, I think, for Corey. But Cole gets a good run off the top. I thought it was going to allow Corey to sneak into the inside of Cole as they went into 1.
Yeah, I think he was looking there, Jake, just kind of hoping that Cole made a mistake. Cole's not going to make too many mistakes, and lost Corey a little bit of time there, but that's okay, man. You know, you're coming up here on lap 50 real soon here. You're going to be halfway in this race, and you know, while you definitely want to go out here and lead as many laps as you can and win, you just got to be patient. You've got to be around for that white flag and checkered flag to be worrying about it. Don't want to do anything here to put yourself in a bad position. And, you know, Jake, we were mentioning drivers moving up here as we see, looks like Michael Madden completing a pass on Brandon Domain. He started 12th, so he's up 7 spots from the start of this race as well. Saw him have a little bit of trouble on that last restart. Don't know what had happened between missing a gear or spinning the tires, but he's just slowly but surely working his way back up to the front. You see Kevin Winker there in front of him as Brandon Domain gets a little pressure from behind with Andrew Harrison, the 87. Kevin holding very, very strong right now. I think right now as many laps as we've run here, he's got 52 laps on these tires compared to everybody else. If anybody in this field right now would like to see a caution, it's that driver 42, because those tires are going to start fading very quickly here, Jake.
Yeah, I feel like they've faded where they're going to fade to. I mean, it's been a bit of a green flag run, and I mean his last lap was just as fast as these guys, you know, in front of him and behind him. So he's really not falling off any more than they are now, and you know that's kind of the beauty of having a couple of yellows is, you know, the guys with newer tires, they aren't able to use up that goods, so to speak, and you know really take advantage of the newer tires. But Cole Martin up front, man, got really, really tight at 2, and here we go. Corey Saucier gonna peek to the inside of Cole into 3 and 4 and try to make a move, but I think Cole's gonna get a better run off the top here, and you know, kind of something Cole needs to think about. You know, even let Corey have the bottom. If you consistently get these runs off the high side, man, you know, well, go ahead. If he wants to go to the low side, you know, good luck getting around me, so to speak, if you're, you know, inside the helmet of that 85 truck.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Corey right here looks like he's going to try to pull what almost looked like a crossover there, Jake. You know, for the riding around, not trying to pass anybody, yeah, the low line is definitely the best. But if you're Corey, I think you just took a note right there when Cole got tight. You went to his inside and you couldn't beat him off the corner, but now you're going to try to go through, beat him out of the corner on the high side. You know, that's where you want to be. And so I think he maybe took that to heart a little bit, and he may pack that away for later in the race in his notebook.
Definitely, and you know we're on a 16, 17 lap run right here. We went green flag racing on lap 39, so here we are just crossing the stripe to lap 57, and you know it's the yellow comes out now, man. There's definitely going to be pit stops, but it makes you wonder. You know, we go a little bit further, we're going to see green flag pit stops here in our truck series, which is always entertaining to watch how the strategy unfolds there. You know, it's going to happen quick because these laps just keep peeling off, you know, one by one within 20 seconds, Dean Brummett.
Yeah, and right now, Jake, I think Corey's just kind of sizing it up. He's looking at it and saying, hey, I don't have to burn these tires off yet. I definitely feel like he is faster than Cole Martin. I think Cole is doing a very good job of managing the position that he's in, being able to kind of move around, pick his spot. And, you know, Richmond's a little different of a short track, Jake. It's a little more aero-dependent than what, say, Bristol or Martinsville would be. So, you know, he's kind of moving down. It looks like he's doing his darndest to try and move his truck in front of Corey, just to kind of maybe take some air off of his nose, make that truck a little bit tighter. But right now, if anything, it looks like Cole's kind of tighter than what Corey is. Corey's just able to drive that car so much harder off the corner. But we'll take a look back a little further in the field right here at the 92 of Brabios Jr. Had mentioned to you a little earlier in the broadcast, Jake. He started almost dead last on the field and has just slowly but surely moved his way up into the 17th spot.
They definitely had. He's methodically making his way through the field. There's quite a few of these guys. Obviously, the truck right behind him started 29th. That's going to be Taylor Smith. He's up to 18th. There's big movers all around. Josh Mueller, who's in 14th right now, started 28th. And that's just kind of the product. Vincent Cortez, though, man, I tell you what, he qualified P3. He's got himself back in 20th right now. That's one of our guys. He was 15 points out of the cut of the playoffs. He had to be 15th.
Oh, little contact there. Oh, my goodness. Jonathan Byer just got so good of a run off the corner there, Jake. He got to the back of Vincent Cortez, and when Vincent got a little loose, Jonathan about went around.
Oh,
we have our yellow, Jake.
Not too sure.
I don't see where it happened
there.
Jake. All I know is
a
the
little debris
flagman has it
caution
in
from
hand.
NASCAR.
Yeah, the flagman has it in his hand. Doesn't look like it was that 9. Let's see what we got here, Jake.
Not too sure, but I tell you what, it's going to pay off for that 42 truck of Kevin Winker.
Jeffrey Stewart and Corey Knight? No?
Oh, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it was in front of these guys. We saw the puff of smoke on the broadcast. As you could see it there, the last frame before it cut away. But just not too sure where it happened, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, not entirely certain at all here. Usually we don't tend to see too many debris cautions here, but...
Oh, you see the smoke there. I wonder if someone was around and was able to, get out of the truck quick enough, but obviously it doesn't pick it up. Interesting, Dean Brummett. Maybe someone... Yeah, a little debris yellow here.
Well, that's definitely going to make it interesting here, Jake, for the run to the finish, because this is going to bring everybody to pit road. Looks like Cole Martin's going to win that battle off pit road, and Corey Saucier is going to come in behind him there. Jake, Bobby Anderson looks like he didn't pit this time. Now, I'm not certain if he had pitted before or not, but yeah, he pitted lap 27. It looks like here, Jake. I'm getting from from pit road reporter. But it looks like about 40 laps on the tires.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know, Jake. I don't know what the thought process is here.
He's gonna get a bonus point for leading the lap, so it might not be obviously the winning race strategy here. Maybe it does. You never know, Dean. We don't want to, count anything out, but it's going to get him a bonus point. That's going to make it have to be one more point for these guys trying to catch him, and I think that's what his mind point right there. Obviously we're going to see this 18 come down pit lane, Dean, so hey, sneaky move right there by the 18, giving himself a bonus point.
And Jake, that bonus point, if it comes down to the end of this race and he winds up making the playoffs, that will be the one piece right there that he gets to go through and say, hey, I did what needed to be done to make these playoffs. So,
absolutely. Like I said, but Corey Knight's going to stay out and be our leader. He's on older tires too. Obviously, it's going to be how at least minimum. That green flag run we had was about 30 laps. So. That is this 90 truck, Dean. Gonna be our leader unless we see him come down pit lane right here.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you right now, the guy that is nervous as can be is Corey Saucier, because he's going to restart on the inside right here behind Corey Knight, and 1 or 2. Well, no, Corey's going to go ahead and hit pit road. So I was going to say that could be a nerve-wracking thing if you're Corey Saucier, because if he gets going and you are able to get to the inside of Cole Martin, you might have yourself a chance to take the lead and not look back off of turn 2. But yeah, Jake, it wasn't debris. It was a wreck. We're not crazy.
So here we go down into 1. It's going to be Kyle Wimble to the inside of Brandon Domain. They make contact. Maybe a little net code, but that's what brings out the yellow. Thankfully, I don't think that 20 truck got into the wall, so he shouldn't have. Hopefully, didn't have to use too much.
Yeah, a little. I think, Jake, they were going to make some contact there.
Yeah,
the initial
almost
turn,
inevitable.
Yeah, the initial turn was a little bit of net code, but by the time it was over said and done with, Brandon Domain was going around there. So
Cole Martin, man, got to get on that lap pedal and pull away from the field, though, again. That's how quick these restarts happen. The pace truck's off. You're able to go whenever you want. Cole Martin going to pull out to another 3-4 truck length lead here over Corey Saucier through the middle of 1 and 2, off into the backstretch. And Nathan Nixon
loose. Woo, what a save.
We're going to see 3 wide, though. This is going to get tight.
What a move by Andrew Harris there, Jake.
Power move.
And he's loose in front of Nathan Nixon. Around they go on the front stretch. But, Jake, they're in the grass. This may not bring out a caution.
Oh, it's not going to bring it out because they're obviously underneath the racing. Oh, man. Gotta love that with iRacing. You get into them, and there they are, spinning in the grass.
Got to get it going here, Jake. These leaders are coming out of turn 4 in a quick hurry. Cole Martin could lead them here. And the yellow's out now. Corey Saucier is probably going to go have some words with the flagman after this race, I believe.
Yeah, not.
Yeah, Jake, I tell you, looking at this one, I'm not certain what was going on here, but with Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay, we'll definitely take a look and see what happened here. You know, you saw the 15 and the 33 come together. They spun down off of the racing line, so there was no yellow. So I'm just curious as to how the yellow inevitably came out here. See, they just spin through the grass, bunch of front end damage for Andrew Harris, and then Nathan Nixon kind of finishes the truck off in the left rear. He's trying to get rolling. And then as Andrew Harris rolls, it's going to pick Nathan up in the air. Andrew gets back on the track, and that might have been it right there, Jake, because just the angle he took onto the track, that might have been what caused the yellow there.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else on the track that brings it out.
You know, we'll take a look at Nathan Nixon and see if his angle. Yeah, I mean, just look how sideways he is there. And Nathan's just going to pull back out onto the track here. He's going to get going, so... Yeah, I think it had to be. I think it had to be just the angle that Andrew pulled back out onto the track. Jake, iRacing just didn't feel safe and put the yellow out once again.
Absolutely. So we're going to see our leaders stay out again. The oh, maybe not. Oh, the yellow might have happened back here on the backstretch. Oh yeah, there's the yellow, Dean. The 26, Josh Mueller. Heavy damage by that white truck, whoever got into his door. Obviously, wrong place, wrong time for that guy. But, man, this is for sure what brings out the yellow. I was kind of surprised it was what we were showing before, to be honest with you. But the 24 just gets in deep into 3. And I believe that was Jonathan Byer himself for Jonathan Byer Racing in the 66. Jack Johnson in the 35.
I want to see what that looked like from Travis Trevillion's on board. Did you see the way he came flying around there? I want to see what he just missed.
You and your camera angles, I know you love them. Here we go. Down out of 2, down the back. We're going to see this all happen right in front of Travis Trevillion out the windshield as you see these drivers spinning up front. Oh, man.
What a move by driver 71.
Last second decision, go to the outside. Beautiful. That was great driving right there by the 71. Could have had to use another fast repair for Travis. You know, saves it by going up the track through the gap of those two guys. Heck of a drive right there by the 71.
Yeah, Jake, can I tell you, you know, we haven't talked to him yet this evening, but, you know, I'd kind of like to go down here and talk to our pit reporter, Sean Griffith, just to see what's going on with him. Sean, how's it going this evening, buddy?
Man, it is going fantastic up here. I love these races where math is involved, where you have to figure out who needs what to get in. And so just talking about that, Matt Johnson now needs 3 points on Bobby Anderson in order to make it because of Bobby Anderson's move staying out.
Yeah, exactly, Sean, and that's the thing, right? So Matt Johnson right now, he's got himself in 5th, and Bobby Anderson's mirrored back in 21st. So, I mean, you don't need a calculator for this one. That's definitely more than 3 points. So, you know, Bobby Anderson's, you know, there's still 52 to go. He's got some work to do to, you know, close up that gap between him and Matt Johnson, or else Matt Johnson's going to be getting himself in the playoffs.
Definitely. I mean, I really see a couple of short track kings really getting on up front. Cole Martin, Corey Saucier, every single time we have a short track, they're always up front. Michael Madden always in the mix. So these guys, they're in the playoffs, and they're in the playoffs for a good reason.
Absolutely, and here we go. Cole Martin, another great restart, able to kind of break away from Corey by a couple of truck lengths, but then it's always been here through the first few laps. Corey's able to get right back to Cole, and then it's just kind of, Corey trying to find a spot to pass Cole Martin.
Yeah, Jake, and it's a hard way trying to find your way around, especially when you get right into the groove, and then all of a sudden the caution winds up coming out here. But I think Corey's going to start getting a little more aggressive at this point. He's kind of cut Cole some breaks, but right now, man, you know about how the end of these races can turn to be. So if I'm Corey Saucier, I am not even going to come close to cutting Cole Martin a break. It is on him from here.
Oh, these two trucks back here are making a little contact. That's going to be the Michael York, the 81 truck, and Jonathan Pryor, the 66. Yeah, it might have been the 97 and the 81, I think, made contact, Dean. We were obviously focused in on our leaders, but Michael York trying to get back to the outside of Sean Kozier.
Big wreck. Nathan Nixon goes around. We've got multiple trucks. The 79 of Jeremy Duncan's around. I saw one more spin out here.
Man, that was a hard lick right there, Dean.
Oh, that was a ton of hit, Jake. He just spun so many times. Jason Kratke there looks like he's going to be around as well. But man, that's gonna make a heck of a highlight for the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay.
He was spinning like a top, and then just nowhere to go, I think, for Nathan Nixon here. Trying to work his way back through the field to get back up front. 79. All of a sudden, wow. I mean, that's a hard lick for both those drivers.
There's more to that, Jake. I don't know what happened here to Duncan. He's up on the high side, so he's not. Oh, the 87. Okay.
He's kind of running off the wall.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he just got a little bit loose there.
Oh, that truck right there in front of him, that 54 of Jason Kratke, man. Hard lick to the inside wall again.
Yeah, it looks like he just got a little loose coming off of turn 2, Jake. Because I was looking to see if he bounced off the wall, and he did, and he just kind of comes off the corner. And, well, Jake, I can't tell if he got loose or if Andrew Harris maybe misjudged his corner exit.
Yeah, they definitely made contact. Andrew's trying to get a run off of 2, and I think he would have thought this, 79's kind of running off the wall. And, Andrew's to the inside, and, had 79 been a little closer to the outside wall, I think Andrew would have timed it a little bit better, but he wasn't. And obviously those two come together, and that's what brought out our yellow flag here at Richmond Raceway again.
Yeah, Jake, the 79 moved down just a tiny bit, but even then, I don't know if Andrew Harris, the momentum he was carrying off that corner, if he would have had time to stop. So, just wrong place, wrong time, Jake. But like I said, that multiple guys involved in that one there.
Yeah, we saw some hard licks, but up front, our leaders are staying out again. They've only got 46 to go right now, but it's going to be about probably 44, 43 laps to go once we go green flag racing. So, these guys not showing they want to pit. I think if you wanted to pit, maybe you come down this time, and that's the last time you come down pit lane unless you get involved into an accident here, Dean.
I don't know, Jake. If this thing winds up getting a green run like it did towards the start, and you wind up within 20 to go with a caution, man, I think you have to pit at that point, because we just saw, like you said earlier in the start of the race, Cole Martin had fallen off by about 0.7 of a second after 15, 20 laps on his tires. And, if pitting puts you all the way in the back of the field, then yes, it's going to be an absolute disaster trying to work your way to the front. But I think right here, I don't think these pit crews are done just yet.
Yeah, what's something to see. You never know, I guess. But at the same time, with some, do these guys trying to get themselves into the playoffs, do they stay out? Like we saw Bobby Anderson that one time under the yellow. We thought he was going to be the leader, obviously, but he wanted to lead a lap. But, you throw that with 20, 15, 10 laps to go. Does the 18 truck stay out, and lead the field to the green and try to capitalize on, staying out with the strategy move?
Yeah, Jake, the strategy is still there to be had. And like I said, right now, I'm not counting anybody out of this race, especially these front runners. Cole Martin's definitely shown his hand all night. Corey Saucier has shown a ton of speed. Michael Madden, though, after some earlier issues, is back up here into third. You got Matt Johnson there from 16th all the way up to 4th, so a very patient, playing the long game here this evening, Jake. Kyle Wimble there in 5th. Looks like Brandon Domain in 6th, Cody Riggs in 7th, Evan Scott in 8th, Vincent Cortez in 9th, and rounding out your top 10, you have Sean Kozier in the 97.
And here we go. Cole Martin going to lead him to the green flag again. Another good restart. He's been going pretty early every single time. Surprised these guys haven't caught on to that. And again, he breaks away by a few truck lengths, and now it's going to make Michael Madden get to the inside of Corey Saucier. You're going to put Corey kind of, out on an island on the high side somewhere he hasn't had to, really be this early on a restart, especially with another quick truck on his inside with Michael Madden right now working underneath Corey Saucier for second.
Yeah, and Corey's going to get a good run off of turn 4, and he's going to set his sights back here for Cole Martin. And right now, Jake, I think if you're anybody there in the top 5, you're just kind of watching this battle between Saucier and Martin. If I'm Michael Madden, and I'm seeing how close Corey Saucier is getting up here, I'm kind of waiting in the wings just to see if they wind up making contact. And, he's playing the long game.
I'm not sure if you saw that, Dean, but Josh Mueller at one point right there was spinning through the grass. No yellow had come out, but obviously, we're still green flag race, and I'll let you finish your sentence. I just wanted to point that out for our viewers at home that saw it on our broadcast.
Yeah, Jake. This is that part of the race, buddy. This is where the contact is going to come, and right now, if you're Corey Saucier, you're searching all over for that little bit of grip, that little bit of a way around Cole Martin. Because with 40 laps to go, you don't want to be putting the bumper to anybody. You don't. Especially at this track. Now, if you're somewhere such as a Bristol, a Martinsville, something like that, yeah, you're in the perfect realm of, hey, we've got to get moving. But with this being a multi-groove track and Cole Martin showing as much speed as he has, you're just doing everything you can. One big thing I'm seeing Cole do that it doesn't look like Corey is doing, he's not exiting the corner quite as aggressive. He's not coming all the way up by the wall down the front straightaway, whereas Corey is, and that allows Corey to carry a lot more speed down into turn 1. So if I'm Corey Saucier, I'm kind of looking at that, trying to figure out exactly what he's doing, but Cole may leave the door open here in a moment for that outside, and that could let Corey just scoot on by.
It definitely can. It kind of seems like Cole's a little bit quicker into the corners right now, and like you said, Corey gets a better run off the corner, but at the same time, Cole kind of, he's parking it in the middle of the corner where Corey is a little bit quicker, and it stalls Corey's runs out, and he's not able to get as good of a run as I think Corey would have if, these roles were reversed here and Corey was up front leading the thing. I think you see Corey kind of pull away a little bit from Cole. Cole is, maintaining it and holding him at bay behind him.
But Jake, if you're Cole, you're playing with fire right now. I feel like usually we kind of like to say the leaders are in the best positions that you can be at on the track. But man, if I'm Cole right now, you're having to fight to keep Corey behind you. Like you said, if he's kind of slowing down his momentum a little bit, Corey's giving him the room. That's awesome of Corey to do. But you cannot expect that same type of courtesy here in about 30 laps, Jake. So we see Jonathan Byer back here. Doc Holliday is going to be right behind him with Jose Castellanos. That's going to get to be a tight little cluster.
Oh, that one truck had scraped the wall.
We got one around us. Castellanos in the grass.
That's not going to bring out the yellow. We saw it earlier. He's going to get this thing rolling. Obviously, he wishes the yellow came out, but no yellow. He's going to lose all this track position. But thankfully for Jose Castellanos, he's had such a good season that, he's already got himself in the playoff. But that's and here we go, pass for the lead possibly into 1.
Jake.
Cole Martin really up high, but I think he's going to get a good run off, and Corey just can't do anything on that low side, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, it's one of those things. It's like, hey, you never like having to use the bumper anywhere, but right now it's quickly looking like, he's going to get a good run to his outside here. He might have something for him in turn 1.
Yeah, he definitely is. Kind of just want to cut back to this battle for 3rd and 4th. What's going to be a battle for 3rd soon. It always happens. The guy you have issues with in the previous race, you tend to run side by side with him the next race. We saw what happened at Martinsville between these two guys. Matt Johnson was pretty upset with what happened between him and Michael Mann, and here they are battling for 3rd at Richmond. 61's going to get to his inside. 15's really pinching him on the inside.
Yeah, Jake, and once again, we talked about moves that you may get away with once, but not twice. If you're Michael Madden there, you got to be careful, because if Matt Johnson gets just the tiniest little bit loose or the tiniest little bit tight to the inside of you there, it's going to wash that truck up right there into your left rear. And Jake, at that point, you might get a little upset, but when you're pinching someone like that, I mean, you got to know what the risk-reward factor is.
Oh, it definitely is. And that's the thing, Michael's got himself into the show, but Matt's trying to get himself into the playoff. He's had the speed. He's just kind of had, not as good luck as some of these guys, and that's why he's, obviously coming down to the final race, fighting to get into the show. And like you said, man, you pinch a guy like that, with 30 laps to go, you kind of almost are asking for a little bit of contact at a short track. When the guys see you're inside, he's run you down, he's trying to make a move, and you're pinching a guy that hard. It's at what point is it kind of just, I should just let this guy go. He's run me down. There's no point in me holding someone up or losing this track position. You got yourself in a money spot right now for payouts. So, but up front, man, Corey's back to the rear bumper. Cole trying to figure out a way to get around this 85 truck.
Jake, to your point, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're on your way through the field, if you're Matt Johnson, if you're Michael Madden with a little under 30 laps to go here, hey, I've got not a problem with the racing. Like I said, you got to know the risk reward with it. But man, there is nothing wrong with hard aggressive racing, and Michael Madden was just trying to do everything he could to protect that spot there, and it wound up working out for him. Great job by the driver of the 61 and 15. Like you said, up front, we're watching Corey Saucier's on board as he tries to track down Cole Martin. I mean, he's riding his tire tracks for the most part. He takes a little higher of an arc into turn 1, and just look at the way it helps him just kind of drive off down into turn number 2. He wants to take the look to the inside of Cole Martin. He cannot quite get there, Jake. And I think what Corey needs to do right now, he needs to sit back and take a breath, say, hey, we've got about 25 laps to go. Let me just keep running the way that I'm running. And if I get back to his bumper, Jake, you might wind up having to use it. You never want to in any form of racing, but when it comes to short tracks, all bets are off, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're stock car racing. There's bumpers for a reason. This isn't open wheel or anything like that.
Big block down the back straightaway. I don't know who that was. That was the 17 of Cody Madden trying to block Bobby Anderson on his way down into turn 3. Bobby definitely cut him a big break right there, but that was just a big move from the 17 in front of the 18.
And Bobby Anderson's got to go. He's got to dig deep. He's got to fight. He's definitely more than 3 spots behind Matt Johnson, with Matt being in 4th, the 18 truck right now in 16th. I mean, we've only got 24 to go. He's got to make up 9 spots roughly, to tie Matt Johnson. Not sure how our tiebreakers would work. So if drivers do tie, they both advance. So, if you're the 18 truck, man, you got to fight. You got 4 trucks right in front of you. You got to make quick work. You got to get them while you can. And sure, we say this, but every lap goes by, Dean, within 22 seconds.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you up front, just a moment ago, we didn't quite pick up on it, but Cole Martin got a little wiggly. Oh, big block coming here. Oh, my goodness, that was the 20 of Brandon Domain. Looks like he was just trying to throw a big heater there on Vincent Cortez. And Vincent going to get to his outside, get the run down the straightaway, and definitely should clear him going into turn 1. But Jake, right now, Cole Martin, the gap between him and Corey Saucier is pretty much about as big as it's been all night long. It's almost 0.3 of a second. You wonder did Cole play his out front strategy just perfect enough to be able to try to start pulling away from the 3 truck?
Yeah, he's definitely pulling away, and our leaders are coming up on lap traffic. You got the 71 truck of Travis Trevelyan to the outside of these guys right now. It's going to really hurt Corey Saucier on corner exit. Travis is trying to be out of his way, but just, the wrong timing of where Corey caught him versus Cole. It's going to open the gap to 0.6 of a second now for Cole. As they work, obviously we've only got 20 laps to go. So, 0.6 of a second between our leaders here up front.
Yeah, Jake, and the thing is, I'm going to tell you right now, you see another caution come out between here and the end of the race, you're going to see every one of these trucks on pit road for 4 tires. There's no way that you've run this many laps without going through and saying, hey, we're not going to take them. I mean, that last time by, Cole Martin he ran a 23 3, 4, 5. So he's lost about 2 seconds a lap. Well, about a second and a half a lap off of what these tires were running at the start of a run. So, like I said, Jake, he's kind of pulling away at this point in time. If you're Corey Saucer, you got to take a deep breath, pull those tires down, do what you've been doing all night long, and try to get that run back to the front.
Sorry, Taylor Smith right behind the leader got into the wall. I thought it was going to bring out the yellow, and it was all going to happen right in front of Corey Saucier. But Corey's going to get to his inside, make quick work of him, and try to reel back down Cole. But Coleman is checked out to almost a second lead. It's over 9/10 right now. So this 85 truck, I think, was just buying his time, kind of right in front of Corey, or kind of baiting him into a little bit of running Corey's stuff a little bit harder. Giving hope to Corey, thinking Corey was able to get by him, and then Cole slowed his own pace down, and now obviously he's driving away. Over a second lead right now, over Corey Saucier.
Yeah, Jake, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, for the most part, it's pretty well green in front of these guys. Cole will have to contend with the lap traffic before Corey does, so you may see this gap right now kind of expand.
Oh, it's really going to slow down right here.
Oh, yeah, he got behind Walt Lipicki and did not get a good run.
And Walt's really kind of running a lane and a half down the track, when you're battling the leader, and, Walt is, a couple laps down already. If you're Cole Martin, I'd be hooting and hollering on the radio. Oh, we got a wreck in one, though. It's going to be right in front of our leader, Corey Knight, up in the outside wall.
And Jake, the plot thickens here, buddy. That is right there. And, if you're Walt Lipicki, you were trying so hard to try and keep from going another lap down and just didn't quite get it. But, Jake, let's see here what's going to happen with the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Wreck replay. We saw Corey Knight was turned around in turn number 1. Looks like he's up here on the outside of Andrew Harris. Harris is going to go down here into turn 1. Is he going to make contact? Yeah, just a little bit there on the left rear. And, we've seen that a couple times.
Oh, man, Corey Knight's still turned around in front of these leaders as they're coming around again.
Jake, we've seen that a couple times here tonight.
That was almost bad for Corey Saucer and Cole Martin. And I think Corey's just trying to get the truck turned around, and, it's so quick, and the leaders were there. But, Dean, I'd be surprised if we don't see some people stay out.
They might very well, Jake, and right now I think Cole Martin, he's definitely got a good spot here on pit road. He had a couple lap cars between he and Corey Saucier, so that's going to let him get into his pit box with a little bit larger of a margin. Usually you see these guys nose to tail, but he's got about 2 truck lengths between he and the 3 truck, so that'll definitely help out. But right now this is the money stop, Jake. You've got to hit this one perfect, get to the attention of your pit crew. Corey's going to get deep into his box, and I'll tell you right now, he may not come out too awful far behind the 85, but we're going to see what happens here with the 85 having that number 1 pit box. The 35 is going to be the winner off pit road. I don't know if he took 2 tires or missed his stall there, Jake.
He's a lap down also, Dean, so that's not going to matter for the lead. For the lead of the race, it is going to be Cole Martin leading this thing. Wins the race off pit lane. It's going to be Corey Saucier in second. So these 2 guys back up front, 1-2.
Well, Jake, it looks like nobody decided that the staying out strategy was going to be the big one for the win tonight. It looks like, buddy.
Yeah, kind of surprised. We saw the 18 truck of Bobby Anderson, who needed to gain some positions. He's back down in 16th place, and Matt Johnson's up in 5th. Cautions breed cautions, right? So you stay out or even take 2 tires, and just kind of hoping yellow flags come out, because if you leave it to speed, I think Matt Johnson has obviously been quicker than the guys ahead of him in the standings that he's got to get by to get himself into the playoffs. So you're not going to move on running behind him. So I think you have to do something different to get yourself off strategy with him, to be able to gain spots on him. So
and that's what 224 Cody Riggs did there, Jake. He took 2 on that stop, so he moved himself up a good little bit there. He's going to be restarting in third, the second truck there on the inside tonight.
Hey, definitely, and we're gonna see how that works out with 2 tires, Dean.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you, let's go down here to our pit road reporter, Sean Griffith, one more time here. Sean, we've been watching this wonderful race tonight. We're going to be restarting with about less than 10 laps to go. We've been checking the math all night long here. What's it look like in terms of the playoffs?
And the biggest battle out there right now is Matt Johnson versus Bobby Anderson. Remember, Bobby stayed out, got 1 point for leading a lap. So Matt Johnson has to beat Bobby Anderson by 3 points in order to tie him, by 3 positions in order to tie him and both get into the playoffs, barring some other changes, obviously. But right now, Matt Johnson up in 5th position, Bobby Anderson only in 11th. And so if Bobby Anderson can move up just 3 more positions, we will have a tie on the cut line.
That's crazy there, Jake and Sean. You know, we've gone through all this season, you know, all the laps, everything that we've pulled, and it's going to come down here to a quick short track shootout here on a Wednesday night to determine who's going to wind up in the playoffs here for Speed Racing Network. And Jake, Sean, we're coming down here 9 laps to go when this pace truck pulls off. If you're Corey Saucer, you've seen how Cole Martin has just been able to kind of move his lines around, do what he wants to tonight. Is it time for the chrome horn to be introduced?
Yeah, you never know. What's going to be interesting for Matt Johnson, that 224 in front of him is going to be on 2 tires, so he's got to be careful of that. You can never know what could happen with the guy staying out on 2 tires. As they head into 1, man, Cole Martin got a great jump. He's going to pull away. We're going to have Bobby Anderson around sideways. Not what he needs to get himself locked into the playoffs.
Oh, the 48's Evan Scott around.
Nathan
Big
Nixon around
hit.
Again. Getting dragged. Bobby
Jason
got to just lock
Kratky.
it down.
Travis Trevelyan flips Jason Kratky. Oh, my goodness, Jake. Jason Kratky goes over, end, over, end, over, end at the end of the back straightaway. Oh, my goodness, Jake. That is going to be, what, Jake? I think we just got a new prime candidate for the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay of the Year as we take a look here as to what in the world happened down this back straightaway.
They were 3 wide in front of the 18. He kind of checked up. I think the 48 kind of gave him a little bump into 1, and that sent the 18 sideways. And it was just a mess through 1 and 2 for all these trucks, that made contact there. The 48 spinning up in front of them is where we saw the 33 Nathan Nixon and the 54 Jason Kratky slam into the inside wall. You see the pirouette of the 54 of Jason Kratky, but here's the contact in the middle of 1 and 2. It's going to send Evan Scott around down the back. Does a good job locking it up. Man, Dean, there's contact all over the place.
Oh, that is crazy, Jake. And then I am scared.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's see what happens with Travis.
Oh, he gets by the 48, and then he's just nowhere to go. Wow,
Jake, I know I'm gonna hate asking this, but let's see the onboard for Jason Kratky. If you get nauseous easily, I have a feeling this is not what you want to be watching right now. Jason sees it in front of him, tries to get through it, does a good job of getting to the bottom of the track
this
here.
Is where it's just they're 3 wide, I think, right there. I think there was still another truck to the outside of Nathan Nixon, and
he thinks it's done. He thinks he's
done. Here goes Jason Kratky to the moon right here.
Oh my!
Wow!
Get your Richmond Raceway tie-dye shirts here, Jake.
And I tell you what, though, this is it's not going to help that 18 truck out. He's mirrored back now in 26th spot. Michael Madden's up in 7th, so it's that's just how quick things can change when there's only 3 points between you and the guy you're fighting for that playoff spot.
Yeah, Jake, and right now, if anybody here didn't want to see that caution, I think it was Corey Saucier. He definitely has the short run speed, and I think that 10-lap shootout kind of played perfect into his strategy. Now with Cole going to be having the ability to restart again from P1, I think it goes through, and I think that kind of locks down Cole's chances to win this race. But Jake, anything can happen. We've seen Cole get tight, get loose a few times off of turn number 2. So Corey's cut him a lot of breaks tonight, but the time for that is over here, buddy.
Oh, it really, really is. It's gonna be, just a matter of, does Cole get through his gears well? Does he spin the tires or not? Does he overdrive into 1? Because I think, like you said, man, it's gonna only be a few laps. It's gonna take a lot from Corey to catch him and make quick work of him, as I think there's only going to be about 4 laps to go if the lights come off the truck this time by. And sure enough, they do, Dean. So it's going to be a 3-lap run to the checker flag here, Dean. Have we seen our last yellow flag?
I don't know, Jake. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, we may have seen it, we may not have seen it, but all I know here is right now you've got a lot of guys desperate to go through, get in the get into this playoff. And if you're Corey Saucier right now, you're desperate to try and get a win. If you're Cody Riggs there in third, you're just kind of desperate to make a good showing, and the 2 tires worked out pretty well for him last time. I don't know how good of a restart he can get, but Jake, we're going to see it here. This might be our last restart of the regular season as the pace truck pulls off. The field is in the hands of Cole Martin. Green flag's going to come out. Corey Saucier is going to try to get to his outside.
40, the 224. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide into 1. No, they're not. Corey shuts the door there. It's going to Michael Mann trying to make that high side work outside of Corey Saucier. Another yellow, though. Oh, big wreck in the back. Oh, my gosh. Oh, hard.
Oh.
John Doc Holiday got turned right up into the outside wall, driver's side first. Yeah, Sean Kozier, that's not what you need. He's barely above that cut line. You know, Bobby Anderson, Bobby needs 12 spots ahead of him to, you know, gain that spot in the standings. So, unless, though, Sean Kozier used all fast repairs and is that truck blown up at all? That's, you know, we don't know that, Dean, obviously, being up here in the booth, but this is how it works.
Yeah, Jake, it's, you know, it's every man for himself at this stage.
Jeffrey Stewart, man, another great job avoiding a wreck. I think that's the 3rd one where the wrecks happen right in front of him, and that gold Budweiser truck just doing a heck of a job avoiding these wrecks. Jose Castellanos on the start, you know, spun it out, looped it into the grass. That obviously didn't bring out the yellow. Truck kind of disappeared on us there, but this is what happened right here to bring out the yellow. Holiday kind of, you know, not thinking the 97 is going to come down. 97 drifts down the track in front of them. Those two make contact, and it's hard licks everywhere for these drivers that were involved.
Yeah, Jake, hard licks, left, right, up, down, you know, just a little bit of everywhere. And, man, when it comes down to something like this, you hate to see these yellows late to kind of extend the show a little bit. But it makes it for that much more excitement.
Man, I'm going to take a page out of your book. I want our production booth, hop on board this 115 truck and just show our fans how close he was again to being, you know, in one of these wrecks. Obviously, initially here into one, it's going to happen all in front of him. You see him spin. He's checking up. The 97 is going to come flying off the wall, and he's hard on the brakes there. I mean, that's the 3rd time we've seen it. Heck, wonderful driving by the 115 of Jeffrey Stewart for H2k Motorsports, avoiding these accidents.
Just crazy stuff there, Jake. And like you said, awesome job by all these guys to go through, manage to miss these wrecks. And, you know, up front, we've got a story we have spoken many times this season. You got Cole Martin in the lead here, Jake. Corey Saucier is going to be to his outside. Michael Madden has worked his way back up to 3rd. He got around Cody Riggs right before that caution, who's going to restart 4th. Kevin Winker, our independent, who spent a little time up front, played some early pit strategy, been quietly sitting there in 5th. Vincent Cortez in 6th. Jonathan Byer up from 22nd all the way to 7th. You got Matt Johnson from 16th up to 8th, trying to punch his ticket in. Brandon Domain up to 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Kyle Wimble, who managed to punch his ticket in as soon as the engines fired this evening tonight, Jake.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is, you know, is Cole Martin able to hold him off? You know, we saw the 224 get loose on that restart there. If Cole has the same thing, man, it's gonna let these guys get a run to his inside, to his outside, into one on this restart, Dean. It's I think it's gonna be wild, and we're gonna, you know, bring Sean Griffith up here into the booth again for the 3rd time tonight, man. Buddy, how's it going, Sean?
Dude, we are looking at the math of this. This is absolutely just fun stuff. So Vincent Cortez up in 6th place right now. He was 15 points outside the cut line. With that wreck, Sean Kozier is now 19 positions behind Vincent Cortez. Basically what that means is that if Vincent Cortez can move up just a little bit further and Sean Kozier backs out just a little bit further, then Sean Kozier might be out of the playoff hunt, and Vincent Cortez could come from 15 points outside the cut and make it in.
Oh my goodness, Sean, that is absolutely crazy, and that'll be something to see here in these last 2 laps. So you said it was Vincent Cortez, and who is it he's racing for the spot?
Sean Kozier, all the way back in 25th. So
Well, great.
huge
And up
implications.
front, here we go. Cole Martin early again. Going to get a really great jump. Corey Saucier is going to fall back to 4th place on the outside here with the 224 to his inside. Not what you want to see.
And Michael Madden here is going to be making a huge charge down this back straightaway here,
They
Jake.
fan out. They're throwing blocks down the back for about 4th or 5th place.
Oh, we got one around. We might have another yellow, Jake. Cole wants to get to that one.
Does not
He did not get it.
I believe that's Sean Kozier. Just got hit and he's blowing. I think he's blowing up if that's him or if that's his teammate, Byron McDonald. No, it's not. Okay, so
No,
Byron
Kozier made it through.
I was going to say, buddy, boy, man, we add more fuel to the fire. Things just got spicier for this playoff, but wow. Dean Brummett, have you ever?
No, I have never, Jake. Let's take a look at the Sandwich Man Racing Sports Memorabilia Rec Replay. I couldn't tell who it was, but looks like here one truck. Oh, Evan Scott just kind of looped it around here.
Yeah,
So
I think that's behind it all that happened here.
Yeah, looks like they didn't throw a yellow for that. 91. Oh, he's getting into the boss again, Jake. 66.
Man,
Jonathan Bauer going around. I would not want to be on that Monday morning meeting there at Jonathan Bauer Racing if I were in this series.
Yeah, that's going to be one heck of a breakdown meeting for this team. That's twice I think now we've seen, and Brandon Domain nowhere to go, right? This truck's spinning and comes up in front of you. Byron McDonald, huge lick. Bobby Anderson doesn't seem to have any damage, but he's probably going to lose some more spots for having to check up for this thing. He's in 20th spot now. Sean Kozier's in 25th. Vincent Cortez is up to 6th. It gets the plot gets thickened.
Oh yeah, Jake, and if I was not mistaken, when Sean was talking a minute ago, he said Vincent Cortez was 15 points out. I can't remember how many points it was. He said that Vincent needed to make up over Sean Kozier, but right now between Vincent and Sean, it is 19 spots on the racetrack. So Jake, we're going to get us another green-white checker here to take us. I've gotten so wrapped up in all this. Are we on our first or second green-white checker, Jake?
It's the second green-white checkered, and right now, Sean Kozier right there, that's him on the inside getting lapped. I don't think he beat the pace truck out. Yeah, that might have just, I think he's losing a lap here, and he's going to fall back to 27th spot, Dean.
Let's see what scoring and timing shows us here, Jake.
It's going to update, though, right here, Dean. And sure enough, there it is, Sean Kozier. It's going to be one lap, 27th.
One lap down and 27th. Now, Jake, when I look at him one lap down, here's the thing. He's got the potential. He's got Jose Castellanos behind him, so he could potentially fall at one more spot to 28th. So that's our battle right here, Jake. That's, as much as we're going to watch this battle for the win, we're watching this battle for this last spot in.
And I'm listening to race chat. The 97's got a black flag for passing under yellow. I'm not sure if that's an EOL or a pass-through penalty. Oh, man. So matters are going to be worse here for the 97. It's just a matter of the math, how it works out. He can only lose, I think, 1 or 2 more spots.
But Jake, you got to think also with Vincent Cortez in 6. You think that's a potential 5 more spots he can gain. So I mean, this plot has thickened so much here. Jake, we got to go back up front, man. It's time to go racing again.
I know it's going to be Cole Martin with Michael Madden to his outside. Corey Saucier is going to be to the inside, right behind Cole. I think that's a little bit better for Saucier. He's going to get a better jump. He's going to see when the leader goes instantly. But here we go, Dean. Second green, white checkered. Cautions breed cautions. We could see one more. You never know. So here we go, man.
Yeah, buddy. Let's take a look here. And Michael Madden goes around.
What did I just see right there?
Oh, my goodness, Jake. I have no earthly idea. That might have been the net code to end all net codes.
Bobby Anderson right there. Wow. I'm almost speechless, buddy.
Yeah, Jake. It's hard to shut us up here in the booth.
And look who is third place right now.
Let's
Vincent
see
Cortez.
Oh, Jake,
Real
that,
close. Any net codes with them.
and in the process, Jake, it just because I mean, here's the thing: if he spins the tires, whatever, it happens. But the truck actually hops up in the air, almost like something gets underneath him, and unfortunately, that just looks like a bout of net code if we have ever seen it.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, that is crazy. I think the nose of the trucks would almost show us as much as anything.
Yeah, I wonder if we can't. Yeah,
yeah, that's net code, Jake. That's all that is.
That's what happens when you're running that, trying to get that, be that close to the leader on these restarts. You throw in the fact that it's not real life with technology. There's gonna be net code.
Oh, Jake, you hate to see that one there, buddy. That is crazy. But one person who didn't hate to see it, we've said his name a few minutes, Vincent Cortez gained 3 spots with that caution, Jake.
Yeah, now he's 23 spots ahead of Sean Kozier. Matt Johnson's in 6th. The 18 truck of Bobby Anderson's in 17th. Those are kind of the 4 names we're tossing around right now for the final 2 spots into the playoffs, just with all the chaos. But hey, Dean, man, this is the final green-white checkered. So if we have another accident right here on this restart, and the yellow comes out quick, these guys aren't even going to be able to make up spots. And Sean Griffith going to bring you back up one more time, our mathematician here tonight for the Rich Get Richer 125. What you got for us?
Sean Kozier's got bigger problems than Vincent Cortez right now. He has to worry about Bobby Anderson now. So Sean Kozier was 13 points ahead of Bobby Anderson coming into this race. Bobby Anderson, remember, led a lap, so that means that Sean's only 12 points ahead. What's the difference between them right now? 10 spots. Bobby Anderson is 10 spots ahead of him. So if Bobby can pass 3 trucks on this restart and Sean can't pass anybody, then he will beat Sean, which drops Sean down to 15th, and then he has to worry about Matthew Johnson, who is only 2 points behind that cut line. Matthew Johnson right now up in 5th place. Matt Johnson and Bobby Anderson would get in, and Sean Kozier would be on the outside looking in.
Sean, I am so glad that they pay you to run these numbers, because Lord knows that I could never go through and have the patience for this. So I have a feeling you're going to be sitting there in the scorer's stand for a good little bit after this race, trying to do the math and tell us who is where. But right now, Jake, we've got Cole Martin out front, and right now Vincent Cortez is there in 3rd. He can see the checkered flag in front of him. He wants to go up here, get that checkered flag so bad. But Kevin Winker, who played some great strategy earlier in the night, he's sitting there in 2nd. So it's going to be interesting to see this. One thing, and maybe our chief statistician here with Sean could tell us, of all the races that Cole Martin has won this year, Jake, how many of these races has he won under the 3 green-white checker rule, where all 3 green-white checkers have flown?
I for sure know it was Phoenix. Martinsville it was.
Didn't he win Auto Club in the same manner?
I'm not too sure. He won Atlanta, but I don't think it was under all 3 green-white checkers, and I think that's it. So the short tracks though he has, he's definitely won them with the final green-white checkered yellow flag coming out to end of the race. But here we go, Dean. Let's not worry about the points right now. Here we go.
The regular season.
Here we go. Cole Martin, another heck of a
on the loud middle.
Inside.
Going to stack everybody up behind him. Kevin Winker is going to have the move to be able to move down in front of Vincent Cortez. He thinks better of it. He's going to move down now in front of him. Cortez is going to try to get the push. Winker works his way up off of turn 2 as he sets his sights down there for Cole Martin. Oh, big 91. Move by the 91, moving in front of
heck of a
Vincent
job
Cortez.
There.
Overdrives it just a little bit.
Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag.
Oh, big wreck behind.
You better hope. Oh man. Cole Martin's our winner though, Dean. Let's not shy away from that. 85 truck of Cole Martin going to win it again here in another short track.
And Jake, we're going to get to do some interviews a little different than what we usually have here, buddy. Looks like here right now with unofficial results, looks like Vincent Cortez may be coming home in 3rd, and Kyle Wimble going to be coming across the line in 2nd tonight. We'll just have to wait for the checkered flag to fall. But like you said, Cole Martin, absolute domination these last few weeks. He's going to get it done again here tonight at Richmond.
Absolutely, and it's actually going to be Kevin Winker's going to come home third place, Vincent Cortez in fourth. So he lost one spot on that restart, and I know Sean Griffith, our statistician, is going to be crunching these numbers very quickly for us to be able to give you who's locked into the playoffs, who's advancing. But right now, man, I mean, we can't take this away. Cole Martin, man, again, another dominant performance on a short track. I tell you what, the league better be happy there's no short tracks in the playoffs, because man, that 85 truck, how do you go away from him as your favorite leading into it?
Oh, I know. We've also got here in a couple of weeks, Jake, our Speed Racing Network All-Star race coming up, and they're going to have a draft with that to allow different drivers to go through, be picked by some team captains. And I tell you what, I think Cole Martin has put the world on notice that he definitely deserves to be a first-round pick in that draft. Get Richer 125. Once again, you got Cole Martin as a winner for the 85 in Bronco Motorsports. Kyle Wimble coming home in second for Jonathan Byer Racing. Kevin Winker, our independent, coming home in third. Vincent Cortez for Tank Racing in fourth. Andrew Harris in fifth for Bronco Motorsports. Matt Johnson for Jonathan Byer Racing needed a good points night, and he got one, Jake. Coming home in sixth. Michael York in seventh for Bronco. Eighth is Cody Madden for H2k Motorsports. Ninth is Josh Mueller for Tank Racing. And rounding out the top 10, Nathan Nixon for Rev Racing.
At 10th place is going to be Brandon Domain for Striker Motorsports. 11th place is going to be Brandon Domain for Striker Motorsports. 12th place is going to be Bobby Anderson, that 18 truck for R&D Motorsports. Brian Crocker having a great run tonight, coming home 13th for Bronco Motorsports. Haven't seen him in a few weeks, so always good to see a driver come back, have a really good run, finishing 13th. Jack Johnson's going to come home 14th for Jonathan Byer Racing. John Doc Holliday going to be 15th place. 16th is going to be Corey Saucier, man. Kind of got the short end of the stick on that restart where we saw the big net code with Michael Madden. He able to rebound 16th. I know he's probably disappointed, not the run he wanted there. 17th is going to be his teammate for R&D Motorsports, Jason Crackey, in that 54 truck. Evan Scott, the 18th place driver, is going to be the 48 for Filthy 5 Motorsports. 19th place is going to be Jonathan Byer for Racing for none other than Jonathan Byer Racing. And rounding out our top 20 for the regular season finale, Dean, Rob Yost Jr. for Team SRN.
Yeah, Jake, and I tell you, we've gotten a report down there from Pit Road that as soon as we have whatever we need, Sean will be back in to let us know. But right now, Jake, someone new up here in the booth. Let's go down and see if we can't get our third place finisher, Kevin Winker, up here in the booth.
Absolutely. He gonna get him in the booth here momentarily. Kevin Winker, man, it is Jake Rowell and Dean Brummett up here in the SRN booth, buddy. How's it going, man?
How's it going? Pretty good.
Well, Kevin, we got to see a heck of a strategy early on. Me and Jake, when you'd stayed out under the first long run under caution, we were kind of saying, what in the world is this guy doing? But, Kevin, you held your own, used it as a heck of a piece of pit strategy there. As it came down to the end of the race and the cautions began to fall your way, did you feel like you had a chance for this thing, or was it just kind of one of those grab every spot that you can and kind of put the world on notice for the last race before the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I stayed out there to see what would happen, and I held my own, and then I did a rookie move and got a speeding penalty, so I was back in 20th, and then I just drove like hell to the front, and then all them cautions kind of helped me, and then it just held on.
Well, buddy, sometimes that's the best way to get a feel for the track when you get to see the front, the back, the middle, all of it. Kevin, just a heck of a run here. Some of the guys that you managed to beat out tonight. One question I guess I would have for you as much as anything, that big wreck that happened on the second green-white checker, there's a little bit of net code between the leader Cole Martin and Michael Madden. What did you see trying to drive through that?
Yeah, it almost looked like Michael maybe spun his tires, but then watching the replay, I'd seen the net code, and I had nothing, I couldn't get out of the way, so I kind of dumped him. I know I said sorry, whatever, but I mean, it's how it is, and went on my way, so.
Well, buddy, nonetheless, you're a great run. Sometimes those things happen. That's a part of racing. And Kevin, good to see you up here in our Speed Racing Network booth. One question we have before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank here this evening before we send you back down here into Race Chatter?
Just everybody at Speed Racing Networks, broadcast. You guys put on a great league, and I'm happy to be part of it, and hopefully be back for season 2 in the trucks.
Absolutely, buddy. Heck of a drive, Kevin. It was very impressive what you were able to do and hold your own on those old tires. So, and then to get that speeding penalty, come home P3, man. Congrats, enjoy it, and we'll see you next week on the high banks of Talladega.
I'm looking forward to that. I love the restrictor plates, so see if I can get another top 3 there.
All right, buddy. We'll enjoy it, man, and we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Well, Jake, awesome run here for Kevin Winker there in third. Let's go ahead and get someone else we haven't talked to before up here in the Speed Racing Network booth, and that's Kyle Wimble, our second place finisher from Jonathan Byer Racing. Kyle, this is Dean Brummett and Jake Rowell up in the Speed Racing Network booth. How you doing this evening, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, not much, buddy. We got to see you drive through the field this evening, got to see all sorts of carnage along the way. Kyle, a second place finish. I know it's coming up one spot short of what everybody looks for, but man, tell us about your race.
And I went into it tonight only a couple points out of being locked in, so I was just kind of cruising, but I had a fast truck. I've been running some officials here this week and been running pretty good, so I kind of went for it. My apologies to the boss. I got into him a couple times, but it's all good in here. We're all happy to be in the top 15 for the most part.
Well, man, it was an awesome run for you here tonight. Like I said, I'm glad the boss man is understanding. Sometimes that back bumper just gets a little too tempting. I understand how it can be, but Kyle, an awesome run for you here this evening, buddy. Anybody that you'd like to thank before we send you back down here to your team?
Yeah, I would like to thank, obviously, Jonathan Byer from Jonathan Byer Racing for giving us putting together this great team this year. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of good guys. I'd like to thank my sponsor, Monumental Esports, for letting me stream tonight on their channel, and all of our other sponsors for our team members. That we've had a great year, so looking forward to the playoffs.
Well, awesome, man. Well, congrats on that second place finish this evening. Glad that you got to get brought up here into our booth for once this season. We look forward to speaking to you again before the end of the season, man. Congrats on that second place finish.
I'll try to make it up here again. Thanks,
hey, absolutely, buddy. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, Dean. So that's our second place driver, man. We're gonna get Cole Martin here, our race winner. He's got to be pumped up per usual for himself. It's gonna be his fourth win on the year. Cole Martin, man. It's Jake Rowell and Dean Brummett up here in the SRM booth, buddy. You pull off the victory. How you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good to end out this regular season. Bronco had a phenomenal night. I think we had a top 14, all 4 drivers, so did really good tonight.
Well, Cole, when you came into this race, we were sitting here watching practice and qualifying times, and you put up a heater of a lap in qualifying to take the pole, and some decent little green flag runs here this evening. We were kind of watching Corey Saucier kind of hound you there a little bit. We were watching different lines that you and he were running, and he'd get a better corner here, and you'd get a better corner there, and we were kind of talking. We thought that if it came down to the end, there might be some chrome horn that was used, but all of a sudden, man, it was like a light switch flipped and you just started pulling away from them. Tell us about your race this evening, man. What was the strategy going in?
Yeah, I didn't know if there was going to be any green flag runs, but I just expected it to be. So I saved, when Corey was behind me, I just saved a little bit, and I appreciate him being patient with me. He could have easily bumped me out of the way. I mean, Corey's a really clean driver, and I appreciate that. He has a lot of patience, so yeah, he could have bumped me out of the way and got past me, but I was just saving the tire, and I think I started pulling away there when we started getting to the lap cars. So yeah.
Well, buddy, like I said, I mean, me and Jake were talking, we're kind of on broken record mode these last few weeks with you here. Just been such a dominant last month pretty much for Cole Martin in the 85 Bronco car. Cole, we ask you this each and every week, it seems like, in Victory Lane, but buddy, who do you have to thank here this evening?
I have to thank Bronco Motorsports for giving me this opportunity, and Sandwichman and Shoney's. They got some good stuff y'all can go get over there, and that's about it.
Well, buddy, we definitely appreciate it. Sorry, Jake, go ahead. You had something else.
Oh, no, that was just all. Congrats again, Cole, and I know you like those restrictor plates, so, obviously the first week of the playoffs, it's going to be Talladega, kind of, give our viewers your mindset of what you want to be doing there, next week.
I haven't really decided yet, but I think I'm going to run the back, just play it safe, just keep latch on to the back end of that draft, just try to stay out of the wrecks.
Well, buddy, congrats again here. We're going to get you back down to your team. And Jake, I told you as soon as we would have anybody, any type of info here for you, we would go ahead and bring our producer and pit road reporter, Sean Griffith, up here into the Speed Racing Network booth. Sean, it seems like here the points have finally been tallied here, buddy. What type of information do you have for us here on the last few that were fighting their way in for the playoffs?
They have, and just keep in mind, Matt Johnson was 2 points outside the cut coming into this race. Matt Johnson is now our 14th driver into the playoff. So then the cut line was going to be decided between Sean Kozier and Bobby Anderson, and Sean Kozier won that battle by 2 points. That's 2 positions for 13 entire races. That's all it took to get Sean Kozier in, and Bobby Anderson is looking in from the outside.
That's amazing, Jake. Amazing, Sean. You know, you go through and, like you said, you've had these thousands of laps that we've run up to this point to be able to get to this race, and now you go through and 2 cars separates it. And you know, if you're Bobby Anderson or one of his fans, you got to feel gutted for him here, Jake, to miss it out by 2 positions. You know, then you begin to flash back the whole season, and you kind of wonder, hey, should I have cut that guy a break here? Should I have been satisfied at this race? What could I have done differently? But, you know, if you're Bobby Anderson, you can't hang that head low, buddy. You've run a great season. You know, we hope to be able to see you here through the conclusion of our season. But congrats there, like you said, Sean, to the 97 car of Sean Kozier being able to sneak his way in by 2 points into the Speed Racing Network Truck Series playoffs.
Definitely, and that's the thing, right? You know, you miss it by 2 points, and you know, you kind of want to look at this race and say, man, if only I gained 2 spots. But it's just kind of that thing, you know. It's an all season or an all regular season long thing. You know, it's a 13 week season for the regular season. So it just kind of makes you think, you know, just kind of, you know, putting that in the back of your head, what could have gone differently. But you know, for these guys that don't make the you know, the top 15 in points for those playoffs, we are having a second tier playoff system for them. So that's kind of, you know, a nice thing about our league. We had that last season, Dean, for Mid-South Madness, if, you know, for the guys that weren't in the actual championship hunt. So that's something to keep an eye out on. And, you know, obviously next week, man, it's playoff times. We're talking about playoffs. It's going to be the first week of round 15. We're going to be running the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway for the Talladega Days 135. That's going to be next Wednesday, April 21st. At 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's actually going to be, you know, it's going to be exciting, Dean, because, you know, obviously it's you put the first race in the first round of the playoffs on a super speedway. It's going to be chaotic.
Yeah, if you're one of these drivers here, Jake, you just went from the last month, you know, having a lot of technical tracks in terms of braking, in terms of gas, turn, you know, tire saving, and next week, buddy, you just get to go mash the gas pedal down and let it all hang out, and you'll definitely see a very interesting race next week. But come back tomorrow night here for the Speed Racing Network. We're going to have the Rich Get Richer 150 here at Richmond for our Xfinity series. It's going to be tomorrow night, Thursday, April 15th at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, and Jake, that one's going to be just as much of an entertaining race. We've got a few even closer battles than this towards the tail end of the playoff points. And like I said, man, this is going to be a very, very interesting weekend for Speed Racing Network.
Oh, it definitely is. You know, Xfinity race tomorrow night is going to be just as entertaining with the race itself as well as the playoff battles. You know, I think there's about 4 guys that are all within 10 points of one another for the final 2 spots in the playoffs. So, you know, come back out tomorrow night and watch us, Dean and I believe it's, you know, it's going to be the same type of thing we saw tonight, where there's going to be late race yellows, some green-white checkers, and it's going to be some quick math to see who gets themselves into the playoffs.
Well, Jake, you're definitely right. And from here at Speed Racing Network, this is Dean Brummett, Jake Roel, and our pit reporter, Sean Griffith. For Speed Racing Network, we just want to remind you to always go faster.